Continuing to episode 9, Kamari is seen enjoying a beach vacation as a reward for winning the war among the Crimson Lords. She received a 2-week vacation as a prize. Initially, she seemed happy, but it appears that Kamari is disappointed because she didn't expect to go to the beach during her break. Kamari is not alone on this beach trip. She is accompanied by Sukuna. Sukuna, after her betrayal as a terrorist, has already been punished by the Empress. She is sentenced by the Empress to actively engage in wars with various nations. According to Sukuna's account, she has fought 5 times a week and won 3 of them. This means Sukuna has died twice. Surprisingly, Vilhais is also with them. She feels jealous because Kamari seems to be getting very close to Sukuna. Finally, Vilhais takes Kamari's hand and invites her to play on the beach together. Kamari, Vilhais, and Sukuna are seen having a great time playing on the beach. Kamari, who doesn't actually enjoy outdoor activities, claims to need many new experiences for her novel writing. Thus, she considers her current vacation as an investment for the future. Kamari doesn't want to admit it, but her heart cannot lie. She is enjoying her time, having fun with Sukuna and Vilhais. After playing, they rest on the beach. Shortly after, Vilhais reminds them that playtime is over. Of course, Kamari protests, saying she wants to play longer. However, Vilhais explains that preparations for her meeting with Nelia Cunningham are already complete. It turns out they are now at the Jera Aruka resort. Initially, one of the 8 famous generals from the Republic of Jera Aruka, Nelia Cunningham, accused Kamari of invasion for fighting in Jera Aruka territory. Of course, Kamari doesn't remember that because her core implosion power was active at that time. To ease tensions between nations, Nelia invites Kamari to have tea together at a resort. The final sentence of the letter received by Kamari also seems to suggest that it is a trap. However, after reporting it to the Empress, she instructs Kamari to accept the invitation, simultaneously checking the abilities of their enemy. Actually, Kamari went to that place accompanied by her troops as well, but she just realized they were not at the beach. Vilhais explained that her troops were gambling for the chance to take a photo with Kamari in a swimsuit. The first one to touch the tower where they would stay that night would be the winner. Kamari was furious with their decision, made without her permission. She was still hesitant about having tea in enemy territory. Vilhais tried to reassure Kamari, mentioning that she still possessed the power of Pandora's poison, which could foresee the future of those who drank her blood. Vilhais then encouraged Sukuna to bite her neck. Although Sukuna was initially reluctant due to embarrassment, Vilhais insisted it was for the job and for Kamari. With hesitation, Sukuna reluctantly bit Vilhais's neck to drink her blood. Kamari, who was nearby, felt embarrassed witnessing the scene. After drinking the blood, Sukuna and Vilhais appeared awkward and shy around each other. Kamari could only watch their intimacy with a poker face. Vilhais's Pandora's poison power activated, and she saw in the future that Kamari would not die. Finally, the 3 of them arrived at the promised place. While waiting for Nelia, Kamari asked about the people of Jera Aruka, renowned as the land of sword experts. Vilhais explained that, simply put, they were sword experts, and there were rumors that some parts of their bodies were made of metal. Suddenly, a woman burst through the door, surprising them. She then welcomed Kamari and introduced herself as Nelia. She entered the room with her maid named Gertrude. Nelia then instructed Gertrude to prepare the best tea for them. Tea was served, and they began to discuss. Kamari immediately asked why Nelia had sent her an invitation when she felt they had never met before. Nelia responded that they had indeed met before, but as she suspected, Kamari probably didn't remember. Nelia then started to talk seriously, stating that she wanted to personally assess Kamari's true military capabilities and achievements. Kamari confidently claimed that she was indeed very strong and unbeatable. Nelia then held Kamari's hand, expressing her admiration. She asked Kamari how many people she had killed, and Kamari casually replied that she had killed about 5,000 people. Nelia responded that she had also killed the same number, 5,000 people. Nelia became more convinced of Kamari's abilities and invited her to join her plan to conquer the world. Kamari was immediately shocked to hear this. Nelia believed that if they worked together, they would be unbeatable. Gertrude then showed a newspaper where it was written that Kamari wanted to change the world into an omelette rice. Nelia explained that the intention of conquering the world meant defeating their enemy kingdoms successively. Upon hearing this, Sukuna objected, expressing that conquering the world was not a good thing. Sukuna stated that Kamari was someone who always tried to solve problems through diplomacy, and she wouldn't assist Nelia in realizing that ambition. Vilhais added that Kamari would conquer the world with her own abilities and didn't need to collaborate with unknown class generals like Celia. Kamari thought Nelia would get angry, but instead, Nelia sat back in her chair with a frustrated and disappointed expression. Kamari then explained that even if she had the power to conquer the world, she wouldn't do it because she valued peace. Kamari emphasized that such power shouldn't be used to make others submit, but should be used to maintain world peace. Nelia smiled, and her heart was slightly moved by Kamari's words. Nelia seemed about to say something, but suddenly, Belias burst through the door, announcing that Kamari's troops, participating in the race, clashed with Jera Aruka's forces. There was a misunderstanding. They thought Kamari's troops were attacking their territory. Belias also explained that for some reason, the enemy forces were very weak, allowing Kamari's troops to slaughter them in an instant. Hearing that, Nelia looked upset because her led forces were called weak. Yet, her troops consisted of the strongest elite soldiers in Jera Aruka. Kamari could only gape at the news. A strong tremor occurred, surprising and confusing them all. As they searched for the source, outside, they saw one of the tall tower buildings being destroyed by Melikansi, as it was his hobby to explode tall structures. Nelia was furious at this, and Kamari could only apologize. Nelia then attempted to attack Kamari. Vilhais, who had predicted that something bad might happen, had already prepared an escape route for them. After throwing a smoke bomb towards Nelia, they ran away, leaving Nelia looking furious. It was already dark when Kamari, Vilhais, Belias, and Sukuna were hiding on a hill. Vilhais then instructed all of Kamari's troops to flee from their current location and head back to Molnite. Shortly after, Vilhais received a call from the Empress and handed the phone to Kamari. Initially, the Empress only inquired about Kamari's vacation, jokingly teasing her. But in reality, there was important news from her. An envoy from Heavenly Paradise had arrived to discuss the future of the Six Nations. The envoy's name was Amatsu Carla, and she was insistent on talking to Kamari. The next morning, two female journalists were seen around the kingdom, hiding behind bushes, hoping to gather secret information. They were named Meltha and Theo, and they were worried because if caught, they could face execution. They were eager to get news about Amatsu Carla, one of the 5 imperial savers from Heavenly Paradise. Inside the palace, Kamari was already facing Carla. Carla went straight to the heart of the matter, expressing her desire to form an alliance. The relationship between Heavenly Paradise and Jera Aruka was far from good, but the enemy of their enemy could be a friend. Carla believed that the Empire of Molnite and Heavenly Paradise shared the same goals. The Empress acknowledged this, stating that ever since Jera Aruka changed its governance system from a kingdom to a republic, power struggles had become a daily occurrence. Outside, Meltha and Theo were ecstatic to receive hot news about the alliance plans between Heavenly Paradise and Molnite. The Empress then asked Carla if it meant their united goal was to defeat the enemy. Carla stated that it wasn't the case, as her country disliked engaging in wars. Harming others was a coarse and low act. Hearing this, Kamari became instantly enthusiastic and agreed with Carla's opinion. Carla continued, explaining that if their nations united, Jera Aruka wouldn't be able to attack them whenever they pleased. The reason Carla wanted to meet Kamari was because she needed Kamari's strength. Carla mentioned that Kamari possessed an absolute power equal to hers. Carla acknowledged her strength, emphasizing it wasn't just a facade or boast, but an objective reality. Even in the public eye, she was considered the strongest person in the world. Kamari, upon hearing this statement, was elated. Carla then asked if Kamari would be willing to create world peace with her. Of course, Kamari wholeheartedly agreed with Carla's perspective. However, at the same time, Cutest arrived with a letter from Nilia. Carla was surprised that Kamari knew one of the 8 famous generals of Jera Aruka. The letter from Nilia contained a threat that she wouldn't forgive Kamari. Carla looked at the contents of the letter and asked what Kamari had done to Nilia. Kamari handed it over to Vilhais to explain what had actually happened. However, Vilhais instead revealed that Kamari had launched a surprise attack on Nilia's troops and massacred them all. Hearing this, Carla speculated that Kamari had lied to her about upholding peace. Kamari wanted to deny it, but she didn't want Cutest to know her true nature. Kamari arrogantly claimed that she did indeed value slaughter. Hearing this, Carla accused Kamari of deceiving her and refused to cooperate with Mole Knight, which consisted of uncivilized vampires. The Empress, offended by Carla's statement, instructed Kamari to kill Carla, the one who insulted Mole Knight. Kamari, of course, refused, but because Cutest was present, she pretended to agree. Feeling threatened, Carla tried to intimidate Kamari, stating that she was the winner of a contest to slaughter an entire country and could kill 5,000 people in 5 seconds. They both ended up claiming what they could do with their respective strengths. The Empress then threatened Carla that if she didn't want to be killed, she had to cooperate with Mole Knight. Carla reluctantly agreed. Hearing this, Kamari felt relieved in her heart, knowing that at least no one would be a casualty. Shifting to Jera Aruka, Nilia looked extremely upset. She received a phone call from someone who expressed disappointment in Nilia's failure to kill Kamari. Apparently, Nilia was assigned to capture and kill Kamari by that person. After ending the call, Nilia continued to express her anger, stating that she would change Jera Aruka with her own hands and make Kamari her subordinate. She declared that she needed Kamari's strength in her plans, believing that Kamari could turn the world upside down with her power.